There is an aspect of this beef that I have yet to see anybody mention. Maybe that's just because Kendrick hasn't made too much of a big deal about it so far, or it's because I have a closer connection to this because I have family members who are adjacent to what I'm about to mention. Kendrick Lamar, a few years back, I forgot which song it was. He goes, "I'm an Israelite, I ain't black no more." And that was his coming out, so to say, that he had found the belief of Hebrew Israelitism. Now, for those that don't know, Hebrew Israelitism is a religious belief that began in the late 1800s, 1886 to be exact, by a man, I forget his name, who, him and another man, said that they had visions from God telling them that they were the original descendants of the ancient Israelites. So they were the original people of God, African Americans. It is a group of African Americans that believe they are the original descendants of the ancient Israelites, so the original people of God. Now, you can say about that what you will. A lot of people have theorized that that belief is based on a sort of attempt from African Americans to re-achieve the importance that they lost through the American slave trade and American slavery, because American slavery cut your worth down so much as a human that you need something. Like, it's so hard to grasp the concept of being treated that way and that your family was treated that way because of how vile it was and is, that you need to supplement that by saying, oh, you pick yourself up. Now, that's the thing. I'm not against it. That's a completely reasonable thing to believe and a reasonable thing to believe in. Kendrick Lamar admitted that he became this. Another rapper who is also a Hebrew Israelite is Kodak Black. Kodak Black converted to Hebrew Israelitism while he was in prison, if I'm saying this correctly. Don't quote me on that. Kodak Black announced this earlier than Kendrick did. I'm not a big Kodak Black fan, so I don't know exactly when. Well, I love some of his music, but I'm not a follower of Kodak Black. Kodak Black announced this before Kendrick Lamar announced it. I don't know if they maybe converted to the same time. Maybe they're in the same YMCA. I don't know. That's also why a lot of people don't know this. That's why Kendrick Lamar had Kodak Black so heavily on his album. And at the same time, that showed the two different paths of lives you can take. But at the end, you guys are both still of the same original kin. That's also what a lot of what Kendrick is talking about in Mr. Morale. But since Hebrew Israelitism isn't as spread and well known yet, a lot of people didn't catch that. Kendrick Lamar is speaking on how he somewhat feels the need to show his people the right path, the righteous path, but he can't do it on the nose because he feels that they need to discover this themselves, which makes sense. That is why songs like Crown exist. He also has other songs that heavily imply these things. Kendrick Lamar, Hebrew Israelite. You may be wondering at this point, what does this have to do with the Drake beef? This is where it gets a little crazy, okay? And just before I get into this disclaimer, I hold no personal beliefs in any of this. So I don't personally believe any of the things I'm about to say, nor do I support or condone any of it in any way, no matter what anybody implies, okay? So Kendrick Lamar is a Hebrew Israelite. Now, for some of the people who already know what Hebrew Israelitism is and have been informed of it on certain paths that may have not been the healthiest, they already know what I'm about to get at. Hebrew Israelitism, as I said, they believe they are the original people of God. Do you know which other belief believes they are the original people of God? The original Hebrews. I say original Hebrews, that's not what I mean. Jewish. That's Judaism. In Judaism, they believe they are the original people of God. Now, obviously, it's happening right now. It's going on this planet. People who believe they are original people of God are trying to take away what they believe belongs to them. So this is an active issue. Now, what happens if there is an original people of God and someone else comes up and goes, no, we're the original people of God? There can't be two originals. Theoretically, there can. Okay, if you open your mind up to the possibilities, because if there's an original people and that people split, and now there's people here, and they both say they're the original people, chances are they probably are, okay, based off of their beliefs, but they don't want to see it that way because they're so split. But because the Jewish faith believes that they are the original people of God, and the Hebrew Israelite faith believes they are the original people of God, and because belief and religion is so up for interpretation and so crazy, the Hebrew Israelite movement, a lot of them do not like the other original people of God. They really do not like them because they see them as imposters, as posers. They are actually, in many interpretations of their belief, the opposite of the original people of God. And they're the people who damned the actual original people of God and sent them away. Now, who belongs to that other original people of God? Kendrick Lamar hates Drake on a spiritual level. That's why he pulled out the deepest, most vile nuclear bomb of lines from the deepest depths of his core and said, you are an imposter. You are an imposer. You are not who you are pretending to be, because Kendrick Lamar doesn't only believe that in a sense of hip hop and rap, but just as a entity and as a person. Drake's entire being is a false. The entirety of it. Kendrick Lamar really does not like this man. And people are still thinking like, oh yeah, it's just rap beef. It was a crazy diss track. You know, Drake stands are saying, man, it was kind of mid. Dude, you do not understand how deep this shit goes. Actually, it's not just rap beef. It's not. Kendrick Lamar, and now I'm gonna dissect this a little bit, okay? Kendrick Lamar called out Drake on the song Euphoria for not actually being culture adjacent, saying that Drake uses the culture to become big within the culture and isn't actually part of the culture himself. And I've been saying this forever. I always said Drake isn't actually a rapper. Drake isn't hip hop. He's pop. I was one of those people. I'm a diehard Drake hater, even though I be listening to One Dance. I be listening to Rich Baby Daddy. I'd be for real, for super honesty, I listen to Drake more than I listen to Kendrick or Cole or Tyler or any of my favorites. Honestly, because the music is more palatable. You can listen to Drake's music while cleaning windows, while taking a poop, while at work, while shopping. You can do that. I don't want to be walking around H&M anyway. Okay, that was a bad example because I don't want to be walking around H&M anyway. I don't want to be walking through the park looking at the birds and having the sunshine on me while listening to Kendrick Lamar talking about stealing a nigga's Nintendo and almost getting shot in the back seat of a black van. Like, that's not what you want to do. What I do want to hear is, I need a one dance, gotta have you, my man, one more time before I go, I about. You know, that's the kind of shit you want to listen to while you're just living your life. What Drake does isn't hip hop. It's not part of the culture. And then Kendrick goes even deeper on this, saying that Drake is white, pretty much. Drake's not even black in the first place. And if you think about Drake's upbringing, Drake was raised and grew up with his mother, white Jewish mother, was raised on white Jewish values, was raised in a white, supposedly Jewish neighborhood. Okay. He acted on Degrassi. He was a drama kid. Clips of his original concerts have been coming out of him on stage doing. And bro, he honestly looks like that nerdy kid in school who would pretend to be doing scenes out of animes. But instead of acting like he's going Super Saiyan, he's pretending to be a gangster, a hip hop gangster type of guy. And that's just not what he is. He's surrounded himself by people who are. He's learned, but method acting, that's what he's done. Drake is method acting everybody who's popular in hip hop. That's why he's trend hopping all the time. That's why he did Afro beats when Burna Boy was popping off. That's why he did drill when Central C was popping off. That's why he did Look Alive with Block Boy. Like, that wasn't his vibe, but it became his vibe when he heard that it was being a thing. That's why he stole X's flow. That's why he does what he does, is because he sees that as working within the community, within the culture. And then automatically through this, people believe, oh, he's the one leading the culture. But no, he's not. He's just a visitor who's just really good at it. Like, he culturally appropriated hip hop. And now Kendrick's calling him out for his fake dreads. Like, and this is the issue. I think this is the biggest issue, is that it's not a problem. You can be part of a culture and not be the culture. You know what I'm saying? But you need to admit that you are visiting, that you're a tourist, that you're just checking it out and you just happen to be doing a good job at it. You can admit that. All right. Accountability. What you can't do is be like, yeah, you can't step over here and be like, yep, this is mine. This has always been mine. Going back to what I said originally about original people wanting what they believe is theirs. You just can't do that. And now Kendrick Lamar is calling them out for it, saying you ain't hip hop, you ain't black, you ain't a rapper, you're a white Jewish actor, and we don't want to hear you say nigga no more. Can I get into this for a second? Can I have my logic moment? Because a lot of people are taking what Kendrick said as biracial people aren't allowed to say the N-word. That's not what Kendrick was talking about. You guys need to stop looking so shallow on this shit. You got to stop looking black, white, and mocha, okay? What you are and what you feel is how you must also present yourself and attach yourself. And that's what you are. If you really are that, though, like you can't, if you pretend to be, then if somebody's gonna call you out for it, what's going on right now? Drake pretended to be this for so long. Guess why Kendrick never said that shit about J. Cole? Kendrick would never, even though J. Cole backed out, which, bro, is a master move. Like, honestly, that is the most genius thing J. Cole could have done. Because at the time I was hating on it, I was like, man, Cole, he should have just not said anything from the jump, because I knew he was going to be on some kumbaya shit. But now he actually tries something and I was like, I don't like that, and then take it back. Cole knew. Cole, after he dropped that album, which he knew he needed to put out a full album response for a single verse, he listened to that album for like 3-4 days and was like, nah, Kenny gonna kill me. So he apologized, he pulled the diss, and now he's chilling. Drake, on the other hand, let his ego inflate through his imposter syndrome for so long that he was like, nah, I can take him. Spoiler alert, he couldn't. Because this isn't done. I say he couldn't as if it's finished. It's not. I want to say it's just the beginning, but it's not that either. We're at the epitome of the situation. After Kendrick called him, oh, dude, I completely went off track. People are taken as biracial, people aren't supposed to. No, because Cole also grew up with a white mother, but in a black surrounding, okay? He knew the stories, he knew the shit. When he was rapping, he truly meant it. When Drake talks about the shit he's done, he's not truly meaning it because he didn't do any of it. He wasn't actually about that life. I'm also biracial, okay? My father is black, my mother is white. Let's be more specific. My father's African American, my mother's German. So that's way more specific. There's a huge difference between African American and black. There's a huge difference between white and German, okay? I was raised by an African American father with African American values, morals, life lessons, and me looking the way I look. I was never white passing ever. So I had the experience that any person of color would have. But at the same time, I was also being raised by my European German mother, who also raised me with German culture and German values and German morals, okay? These things mixed and created who I am now. So Drake didn't have that. Like, I don't know if his father, like, I don't know Drake like that, so I don't know if his father was in his life before he dropped Worst Behavior, or what was it? Was it Worst Behavior? All of the bullshit is here today and gone tomorrow. Pound Cake. That album. I don't know if his dad was around, but he definitely wasn't around black people like that. So when Kendrick says we don't want to hear you say nigga, is because he doesn't believe that Drake has earned the right to say that. And if you look at it, it's kind of like, oh man, and that's a whole conversation for itself. I need to stay on topic. But yeah, no, Kendrick Lamar hates Drake's guts. He hates him on more than rap beef. He hates him on a spiritual belief level, because he believes Drake portrays the entirety of being an imposter in modern day. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it there. That dude. We don't want to hear you say nigga no more.